Imagine for a moment. What if the bedrock principles underpinning every monumental achievement, every realized dream, every genuine prosperity were not merely a recent discovery, but a perennial truth? A truth whispered not just through the determined minds of the self-made giants, but echoed with equal clarity in texts centuries old, texts often overlooked by the very individuals striving for material success? This is not a fanciful notion, but a profound reality that has quietly awaited its full revelation. For too long, we have treated these wellsprings of power as separate, distinct streams. One, a modern testament to the sheer force of human will and organized thought, meticulously codified for the aspiring entrepreneur and the dreamer. The other, an ancient beacon of spiritual guidance, often relegated to the sacred and separated from the pragmatic world of ambition and wealth creation. But what if these two seemingly disparate worlds, the material and the spiritual, the modern and the ancient, are not just related, but are in fact two sides of the same immutable coin of success? What if a forgotten synchronicity, a powerful unspoken alliance, exists between them, waiting for you to discover its immense potential? This is not merely an intellectual exercise. This is an invitation to peer beyond the obvious, to transcend conventional thinking, and to understand that the strategies for building an extraordinary life are far more integrated than you have ever been led to believe. Consider the journey of any individual who has truly transformed their circumstances, who has carved their name into the annals of achievement, whether in business, art, or personal mastery. Were they simply lucky? Did they possess some inherent unattainable genius? Or did they, perhaps unconsciously, align themselves with forces and principles so fundamental, so universally applicable, that their success became not just probable, but virtually inevitable? I spent a lifetime studying such individuals, distilling their methods, identifying the common threads in their triumphs. The result, as you know, was a philosophy of achievement that has empowered millions. But what if that very philosophy, that precise methodology, finds its ancient mirror, its spiritual confirmation in words penned millennia ago? Today we stand at the precipice of such a revelation. We are not here to merely draw tenuous parallels or to politely compare two distinct bodies of wisdom. No, our purpose is far grander, to forge a direct connection, a living bridge between the revolutionary, practical mind of Napoleon Hill and the profound, deeply embedded principles found within Psalm 01. This psalm, often recited, sometimes studied, yet rarely grasped for its sheer practical power in the pursuit of worldly accomplishment, holds keys that unlock the very essence of what I taught. The true power emerges when these two seemingly distant stars align, creating a single brilliant constellation of absolute achievement. What we are about to unveil is not just another perspective. It is a unified, timeless strategy, a master blueprint for a life where, as the ancient text promises, and as Hill's principles dictate, everything you attempt, everything you pursue, everything you do, not only succeeds, but prospers. This journey will change how you perceive effort, how you define environment, and how you ultimately claim your rightful place among the truly successful. Now, let us delve deeper into the very foundations of this remarkable alignment, understanding the unique contribution each pillar brings to this grand architecture of success. On one side, we have the monumental work of Napoleon Hill. It is often too simplistic to say that I merely taught positive mental attitude. My work, my very life's mission, was to uncover and then reveal the architectural power of thought. Think about that phrase for a moment. Architectural power. It implies design, structure, deliberate construction. It suggests that your inner world, the landscape of your mind, is not some chaotic, untamed wilderness, but a fertile ground, a blueprint awaiting your specific, definite command. My insights were not mere theories, abstract notions to be pondered. They were, and remain, a systematic engineering of desire into destiny. This was a science, a practical application of universal laws, a rigorous methodology for transforming intangible hopes into tangible realities. I showed how a clearly defined purpose, fueled by an intense, burning desire, could be meticulously planned and executed through persistence and the cultivation of a powerful, unwavering belief in its achievement. Every step, from auto-suggestion to specialized knowledge, from organized planning to the mastermind principle, was a tool, a lever, a component in building the fortress of your own success. It was about conscious creation, about understanding that your mind is the ultimate factory, capable of producing anything it can conceive and believe. My focus was on the practical, the actionable, the replicable steps that any individual, regardless of their starting point, could employ to bend reality to their will, to manifest their grandest visions. It was about unlocking the latent power within, structuring it and directing it with unyielding resolve towards a single burning aim. On the other side stands Psalm 01. For many, this ancient text is viewed primarily through a lens of piety, of spiritual contemplation, perhaps a poetic ode to virtue. They see it as purely spiritual, a distant whisper from a bygone era, disconnected from the clamor and ambition of modern life. But look closer, my friend, much closer. What you will discover is not just a spiritual directive, but an operational manual, a precisely detailed guide for optimal living and inevitable flourishing. It outlines with astonishing clarity the precise conditions for what it calls a blessed existence. This blessed state, in its truest and deepest sense, is not some ethereal reward reserved for the afterlife. It is a life characterized by natural, sustained success, by deep resilience, and by a constant, abundant fruitfulness, right here, right now. It describes a man whose entire being is strategically positioned for prosperity, a prosperity that touches every facet of his existence, from his mental landscape to his external endeavors. It delineates specific choices, specific associations, specific sources of mental and emotional nourishment that, when followed, make success not just a possibility, but a predictable, almost scientific outcome. It is a formula, ancient yet eternally relevant, for setting oneself on a path where adversity cannot uproot you, where your efforts are consistently rewarded, and where your very being becomes a source of continuous growth and production. It speaks of foundational principles, of cause and effect in the realm of personal development, outlining an unwavering path to enduring strength and prosperity. Now consider the profound intersection of these two mighty forces. The true genius of this connection emerges when we realize that my work, the philosophy of Napoleon Hill, provides the precise, actionable how for the grand what described in Psalm 01. The psalm paints a magnificent picture of the thriving individual, rooted, resilient, productive. It tells you what this successful individual avoids, what he delights in, and what the inevitable outcome of his choices will be. But it is in the study of achievement, in the systematic unveiling of the principles of success, that the mechanisms for achieving that blessed state become crystal clear. How does one avoid the counsel of the wicked in a world saturated with negativity? How does one genuinely delight in principles that guide success? How does one cultivate a mind like a tree planted by streams of water? My work provides the systematic methodology, the mental disciplines, the practical steps to consciously choose your influences, to cultivate your inner garden, to ignite your burning desire, and to persist against all odds until your destiny is fulfilled. They do not just echo each other, they complete each other. One lays out the timeless, universal principles of flourishing. The other provides the step-by-step, psychological and strategic blueprints to manifest that flourishing in your own life. Together they form an unbreakable, invincible system for achieving not just success, but a life of profound, sustained prosperity. This understanding, my friend, is your first step towards mastery. Now, Let us turn our attention to the very ground upon which all lasting achievement must be built, the mind itself. For too long, the idea of positive thinking has been watered down, reduced to a mere platitude, a shallow hope that if one simply wishes hard enough, good things will happen. But as I taught, and as ancient wisdom reaffirms, true success is far more deliberate. It is not about passive positivity, it is about intentional ecosystem design. What does that mean for you? It means recognizing that your mind is not just a receptor for thoughts, but a vibrant, living garden, an orchard. And like any orchard, its yield, its abundance, its very survival depends entirely on how meticulously you cultivate it. Consider my teachings on autosuggestion. This was never about chanting empty affirmations. It was about the disciplined practice of feeding your subconscious mind repeatedly and with conviction the precise thoughts, images, and desires that align with your definite purpose. It is the conscious decision of what seeds you will plant in your mental soil. Every thought you allow to take root, every belief you nurture, every desire you hold with burning intensity, these are your chosen seeds. Just as a farmer carefully selects the finest grain, you must be equally discerning with the thoughts you permit to germinate. Your definite purpose, that unwavering objective you have set for yourself, serves as the meticulous planning, the strategic layout of your orchard. You decide what fruits you wish to bear. You design the very landscape of your future success, not by chance, but by conscious, deliberate intent. This is the act of planting, of choosing, of committing to the specific harvest you seek. It is the systematic process of bringing your desires from the intangible realm of thought into the tangible world of physical manifestation. Now, let us examine Psalm 01 through this same lens. It speaks of the individual like a tree planted by streams of water. This is often misconstrued as a passive blessing, as if success simply appears through some divine intervention. But I ask you to consider it differently. This isn't about being lucky enough to be near water. This is about strategic positioning for nourishment and resilience. A tree does not accidentally find itself by the stream. It implies a deeper truth. One must consciously seek out and then root oneself in sources of sustenance. What are these streams of water for your mind, your mindset orchard? They are the principles of truth, the wisdom of experience, the nourishing ideas that fuel growth and strength. They are the knowledge you acquire, the insights you gain, the understanding you cultivate. This ancient text reveals that where you plant your mindset, the intellectual and spiritual environment you choose is paramount. It speaks of avoiding certain paths, certain influences, certain waters that are stagnant or toxic, and instead actively seeking out those that are life-giving, dynamic, and abundant. It implies a constant, sustained absorption of what is good, what is true, what is conducive to flourishing, ensuring that your roots run deep, making you unshakable against the storms of adversity. The true genius, then, lies in the synthesis. We realize that true success is not merely wishing upon a star or chanting a phrase. It is about consciously establishing a mental environment that is robust, rich, and perpetually nourished. It is the intentional ecosystem design. My principle of autosuggestion is the daily act of planting those purposeful seeds, of defining your harvest with unwavering clarity. Psalm 01 is the wisdom of choosing the fertile ground, the life-giving streams of wisdom and truth, and rooting yourself deeply within them. You are making intentional choices about the soil in which your ideas will grow and the water that will sustain them. Neglect your mental orchard. Allow weeds of doubt and fear to take root. Refuse to position yourself by the streams of knowledge and positive influence, and you will reap a bitter, meager harvest. But with deliberate cultivation, with the strategic application of Hill's principles within the framework of Psalm 01's wisdom, your mind becomes a thriving, productive ecosystem, a place where every seed of definite purpose you plant, nourished by the right mental environment, is destined to flourish into an abundant, unshakable reality. This is how you ensure that your thinking, your very consciousness, becomes a powerful engine of perpetual prosperity. Now, having understood the critical importance of cultivating your inner landscape, of designing your mindset orchard with meticulous care, we must address an equally vital, yet often overlooked aspect of sustained success: protecting that orchard. What good is planting the finest seeds and positioning yourself by the richest streams if your boundaries are porous, allowing invasive weeds and destructive pests to infiltrate and choke out your nascent growth? This brings us to a concept I call the influence filter, a dynamic, ever-present shield guarding your energetic and intellectual frequency. Many speak of simply avoiding bad company, a simplistic notion that barely scratches the surface of this profound truth. It's far more than a casual social preference. It's a strategic imperative. Your mind, that fertile ground we just discussed, is constantly receptive, an antenna picking up signals from every source around you, just as you choose the food that nourishes your body. You must be infinitely more selective about the thoughts, emotions, and energies that feed your mind. Think of it. Your dominant thoughts, the very fabric of your reality, are shaped not just by what you deliberately implant, but by the constant barrage of external stimuli. If that external environment is polluted, stagnant, or laced with negativity, how can you possibly maintain the high vibrational frequency necessary for creative thought and sustained achievement? My work on the mastermind principle was not merely about assembling a group of like-minded individuals. It was about the deliberate choice of synergistic, elevating associations. It recognized that two or more minds, coordinated in a spirit of harmony toward a definite objective, create a third, invisible, intangible force, which may be compared to a third mind, the mastermind. This force is a powerful generator of positive energy, innovative ideas, and collective problem-solving. But the crucial underlying aspect is the deliberate choice. You don't just fall into a mastermind group. You select its members with surgical precision, ensuring that each individual contributes to a positive, upward spiral of thought and action. You are consciously building a positive, energetic field around your definite purpose. This is a proactive step to amplify your intellectual and creative output, to surround yourself with individuals who uplift, inspire, and challenge you to think bigger, act bolder, and persist longer. It is about creating an environment where doubt is minimized and belief is maximized. Now turn your attention to Psalm 01. It declares with striking clarity that the blessed individual does not walk in the counsel of the wicked, or stand in the way of sinners, or sit in the seat of mockers. Again, if you read this superficially, it sounds like a moralistic dictate. But when viewed through the lens of success principles, it transforms into an intensely practical and powerful strategy for active purification of your intellectual and energetic space. Does not walk in the counsel of the wicked. This isn't just about avoiding overt criminal behavior. It speaks to the insidious counsel of negativity, of doubt, of cynicism, of those who consistently present problems without solutions, who find fault before possibility. It's the voice that tells you it cannot be done, that your dreams are foolish, that your efforts are futile. To not walk means to actively reject, to divert your path away from such destructive thought patterns and the people who propagate them. Then, nor stand in the way of sinners. This goes beyond moral judgment. It refers to a state of being, a path defined by choices that lead to stagnation, self-sabotage, and ultimately failure. To not stand means you do not pause, you do not linger, you do not become complacent in environments or activities that drain your vital energy, dilute your focus, or compromise your integrity. These are the tempting detours, the seductive distractions that promise immediate gratification but lead away from your definite purpose. Finally, nor sit in the seat of mockers. This is perhaps the most subtle, yet profoundly damaging. Mockers are those who derive perverse pleasure from tearing down the efforts, the dreams, and the aspirations of others. They are the cynics who criticize without creating, who diminish without offering solutions. To not sit implies a complete refusal to entertain their destructive perspectives, to disengage from their negativity, and to prevent their corrosive attitudes from infecting your own spirit. Their energy is designed to paralyze initiative, to breed fear, and to extinguish the very spark of ambition. The synthesis, then, is unmistakable and utterly critical to your success. To truly prosper, to ensure your carefully cultivated mental orchard bears abundant fruit, you must not only build powerful positive connections through the mastermind principle, amplifying your strengths and insights. You must also ruthlessly, uncompromisingly filter out influences that degrade your energetic and intellectual frequency, as powerfully advised by the ancient wisdom. This is a proactive defense, a constant vigilance to protect the fertile ground of your mind from the weeds of negativity, doubt, and destructive counsel. It means consciously choosing your inputs, the books you read, the conversations you engage in, the media you consume, and most importantly, the company you keep. Just as a farmer erects fences to protect his crops, you must establish clear, firm boundaries around your mental space. This isn't about isolation. It's about empowerment. It's about ensuring that every thought, every word, every interaction you allow into your sphere contributes to your growth, aligns with your definite purpose, and elevates your overall energetic frequency. When you master this influence filter, you create an unshakable inner fortress, allowing your positive mental attitude to flourish, unhindered and undisturbed, setting the stage for the inevitable harvest of your efforts. Having carefully cultivated our mental orchard and established an unbreachable influence filter, we arrive at perhaps the most misunderstood, yet fundamentally crucial engine of sustained achievement: the law of delight. Many believe that persistent effort is a grim, grueling march fueled purely by discipline and sacrifice. They see the path to success as a ceaseless struggle against resistance, a battle of sheer willpower. But what if I told you that true, enduring persistence, the kind that propels individuals through years of unseen effort towards monumental goals, is not born of suffering, but of a deep, abiding joy? This delight is not a passive pleasure, a fleeting hedonistic indulgence. No, it is the active, passionate engagement that transforms relentless effort into an expression of your very being, a powerful, self-sustaining fuel for every step of your journey. My lifelong study of successful individuals revealed a common, undeniable thread: an intense, burning desire. This was never a mere wish or a vague hope. It was an obsession, a consuming passion that permeated every thought and action. This burning desire is the initial spark, the emotional ignition that makes your definite purpose feel urgent, absolutely necessary, non-negotiable. It is the deep-seated conviction that transforms a simple idea into an all-consuming quest. And from this burning desire springs persistence, the unwavering resolve to continue despite setbacks, to learn from every failure, to rise every time you fall. But what truly sustains this persistence over the long haul, when the initial zeal might wane, when obstacles seem insurmountable? It is something deeper than mere willpower, something that recharges the spirit even as the body tires. It is the discovery of delight in the very act of striving, a profound satisfaction found within the process itself. Now, let us turn to Psalm 1, which states, "But whose delight is in the law of the Lord, and who meditates on his law day and night?" For those who might interpret this strictly through a religious lens, I ask you to broaden your understanding. The law of the Lord here can be understood as the universal constructive principles that govern existence, the immutable laws of cause and effect that operate throughout the cosmos and, crucially, within the human mind. These are the very principles upon which all genuine success is built. the same principles I dedicated my life to codifying. These include the law of concentrated effort, the law of autosuggestion, the law of faith, the law of definite purpose, the law of the mastermind, and so many others. These are not merely religious tenets. They are the fundamental operational instructions for manifesting reality. The key word here is delight. It implies a joyful immersion, a continuous engagement, an enthusiastic absorption in these principles. It is not a chore to be endured. It is a source of profound satisfaction and intellectual stimulation. And to meditate on his law day and night is not a burdensome command, but a description of someone so engrossed, so captivated by the transformative power of these truths, that their application becomes a constant, integrated part of their waking and even subconscious thought processes. It signifies a complete absorption, a willing surrender to the wisdom that promises flourishing. It is a state where the pursuit of understanding and the application of these principles becomes its own reward, an intrinsically motivating force that never diminishes. The synthesis of these two powerful philosophies is where true magic unfolds. When your definite purpose, born from a burning desire, is something you are not merely working for, but something you are delighted to pursue because its attainment aligns with universal constructive principles, then action ceases to be drudgery. It transforms into delightful, self-sustaining momentum. You no longer just work towards your goal. You love the process of living by the very principles that guarantee its attainment. This is the difference between an arduous uphill battle and an exhilarating ascent. The delight in the process itself becomes an inexhaustible energy source. It minimizes the feeling of sacrifice because the effort itself is intrinsically rewarding. It creates a powerful positive feedback loop. Your delight fuels action. Action generates progress, and progress, in turn, amplifies your delight, pushing you forward with renewed vigor. This profound fusion unlocks a new dimension of tireless, joyful pursuit. When your purpose is so deeply intertwined with principles you cherish and delight in, persistence becomes effortless. You tap into a well of energy far deeper than mere willpower, drawing instead from an inner spring of passion and purpose. This is why some individuals can labor tirelessly, seemingly without effort, while others quickly burn out. It is not a question of physical strength, but of spiritual and mental alignment. When you find delight in the doing, in the becoming, in the conscious application of the laws that govern success, then success becomes not just an aim, but a joyful, inevitable unfolding of your purpose. You are not just building a future. You are living a fulfilled present every single day. This is the ultimate engine of sustained action, my friend, and it is available to you right now. Now. If you have genuinely embraced the cultivation of your mental orchard, carefully weeding out the destructive influences, and have discovered the profound, invigorating law of delight, then you stand at the threshold of the ultimate consequence. This is the stage where effort transcends mere labor and becomes a natural, joyful expression of your definite purpose. And when you engage with this delight, something remarkable begins to happen. The consistent effort, infused with such deep-seated passion, stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like an unstoppable current. This current, my friend, leads directly to what I term the inevitable harvest, the science of manifested prosperity. Have you ever observed the rhythm of nature, the precision with which cause leads to effect? A farmer plants a seed, cultivates the soil, provides water and sunlight, and then, with an unwavering certainty, expects a harvest. This isn't hope. It's a scientific expectation, based on immutable laws. Prosperity, in its truest form, is not a matter of luck, chance, or mere fortune. It is the predictable, scientific outcome of aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with universal principles. This is where the truly successful separate themselves from those who forever chase elusive opportunities. They understand that prosperity isn't something you find. It's something you grow, something you attract, something you engineer through precise application of definite laws. My work, my entire philosophy, revolved around unveiling these laws. The laws of compensation, for instance, are not merely economic principles. They permeate every aspect of your existence. You receive in direct proportion to the value you deliver, the quality of your thoughts, and the quantity of your persistent effort. There is no getting something for nothing. Conversely, there is no not getting something for something. If you consistently sow seeds of purposeful thought, disciplined action, and unwavering belief, the universe must compensate you in kind. It's not a spiritual wish, it's a declaration of an operating principle as reliable as gravity. Then there is the concept of cosmic habit force. This powerful, yet often unseen force ensures that the universe itself tends to organize around a clear, persistently held thought or action. It builds momentum. It creates a trajectory. Your definite purpose, once clearly conceived and intensely desired, begins to pull circumstances, people, and resources towards its inevitable fulfillment. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, acts like a diligent assistant, coordinating events to match the blueprint you have so deliberately impressed upon it. The universe will fill your definite purpose, I often said, not as a poetic fancy, but as a statement of scientific fact. Prosperity is thus a systematic result, a programmed outcome of specific mental and behavioral inputs. You are not merely earning, you are harvesting what you have meticulously sown. Now, let us turn our gaze once more to the profound simplicity and power of Psalm 01. It declares, with an almost startling assurance, whatever they do prospers. Read that again. Not whatever they hope for or whatever they pray for, but whatever they do prospers. This is a definitive statement of consequence, a direct result of the individual's choices, mindset, and alignment with those universal laws. This isn't a prayer or a blessing contingent upon some arbitrary divine whim. No. It is a scientific observation, an immutable law of cause and effect presented within an ancient text. The individual who aligns their being, their intentions, and their actions with these principles, who cultivates their inner orchard with diligence and guards their influence filter with discernment, and who finds delight in the journey of principled action, will see their endeavors bear fruit. This prosperity is an inherent part of the natural order, a guaranteed return on investment of conscious, directed energy. But the psalm doesn't stop there. It paints a stark, yet equally inevitable contrast. Not so the wicked. They are like chaff that the wind blows away. This imagery is not about moral judgment in the narrow sense, but about fundamental principles of stability and substance. The wicked here can be understood as those who operate out of alignment with these constructive, universal laws. Those who are not rooted in definite purpose, whose minds are not cultivated, whose influences are corrosive, who find no delight in the principled pursuit of their goals. What happens to chaff? It lacks substance. It is light, empty, easily scattered by the slightest breeze. It has no rootedness, no inherent value, no capacity to sustain itself or produce anything meaningful. Its fate is one of dispersion, of being blown away, of ultimately disappearing into nothingness. This is the inevitable outcome of a life lived out of alignment, a life without definite purpose, without principled action, without the deep roots of a cultivated mind. It is not an arbitrary punishment. It is the natural, logical consequence of their choices and their energetic vibration. The fusion of these two extraordinary perspectives, therefore, reveals a truth of immense liberating power. This fusion reveals that prosperity isn't a random stroke of luck or some mystical intervention. It is the natural, inevitable harvest of intentionally cultivated thoughts, precisely engineered desires, and disciplined actions, all planted in a principled, pure environment. When you consciously, deliberately, and with persistent delight align yourself with these timeless laws, when your internal blueprint mirrors the universal principles of flourishing, Success becomes not just possible, but the default outcome. It is like expecting an oak from an acorn or fruit from a tree planted by streams of water. The outcome is not merely hoped for, it is guaranteed. This is the scientific certainty of manifested prosperity. You stop simply working for success and start working from the understanding that success is already encoded in your process, awaiting its inevitable unveiling. This understanding, my friend, transforms effort into certainty and desire into manifested reality. Having journeyed through the profound alignment of principle and practice, from cultivating your mental orchard and establishing an unshakable influence filter, to igniting the powerful engine of delightful action and understanding the science of the inevitable harvest, you now stand at a pivotal moment. The theoretical understanding, as valuable as it is, must now translate into concrete, deliberate action. For knowledge, unapplied, is merely potential energy. It is only when you consciously choose to live these principles that they begin to reshape your reality. So, how do you begin to embody this unified strategy? How do you transform these revelations into your daily living experience? The answer lies in a series of direct, actionable steps, steps that will empower you to consciously engineer your own destiny. First, you must define your personal streams of water. And this is not a passive waiting for sustenance. It is an active, deliberate search and connection. Remember the image of the tree planted by streams of water? That tree thrives because it is strategically rooted in a place of constant nourishment. For you, this means identifying the precise sources of knowledge, the specific mentors, and the exact environments that truly nourish your definite purpose. What books, what courses, what educational platforms contain the specialized knowledge you need to execute your plans? Who are the individuals, the true masterminds, whose wisdom, experience, and positive energy will elevate your thinking and accelerate your progress? And where are the physical or virtual spaces, the communities, the networks, where your ideas are championed, your efforts supported, and your ambition ignited rather than extinguished? This is not about haphazard consumption of information or casual association. This is about being ruthlessly selective, creating a curated ecosystem that constantly feeds your mind with the exact nutrients required for your unique growth. It is an investment in your mental and spiritual capital, ensuring that your roots, the very foundation of your being, draw from inexhaustible sources of life-giving power. Make a concrete list, seek them out, engage with them intentionally. Your prosperity depends on the richness of the soil and the purity of the water you allow to feed your aspirations. Next, you must install your influence filter. This is a continuous, conscious audit of your daily inputs, a vigilant safeguarding of your mental and emotional energy. Just as a modern water filtration system removes impurities to provide clean, life-sustaining water, your influence filter must actively remove everything that drains your vitality, pollutes your thoughts, or contradicts your definite purpose. This means consciously auditing every piece of information that enters your mind. The news you consume, the social media feeds you scroll, the conversations you engage in, the entertainment you choose. Ask yourself, does this input align with my definite purpose? Does it elevate my frequency? Does it inspire action or breed cynicism and doubt? If it does not contribute positively to your mental orchard, it is a weed, and it must be removed. This also extends to your personal associations. Revisit the mastermind principle and the psalmist's warning against the counsel of the wicked and the seat of mockers. It requires the courage to distance yourself from individuals who consistently bring negativity, who sow seeds of doubt, who offer only criticism without constructive guidance. This is not selfish. It is self-preservation. It is a necessary act of mental hygiene, ensuring that the precious energy you generate is directed solely towards your constructive aims, protected from dilution and contamination. Your thoughts are your most valuable asset. Guard them fiercely. Third, you are called to practice delightful meditation. This is where the law of delight truly comes alive as an active, daily discipline. It is about intentionally spending focused, joyful time each day immersed in your primary aim, not as a chore, but as a cherished moment of creation. This is beyond mere visualization. It is a full sensory immersion. Close your eyes if you must, and vividly imagine the achievement of your definite purpose. Feel the emotions of success, hear the sounds of triumph, see the tangible results of your efforts. But do not stop there. This delightful meditation also involves immersing yourself in the universal principles that you now understand govern success. Reflect upon the law of compensation, the power of autosuggestion, the inevitability of your harvest when all elements are aligned. Let these principles resonate within you, not as abstract theories, but as living truths that empower your every step. This practice cultivates an unshakable faith, transforming your belief into an unbreakable conviction. It allows your subconscious mind to work tirelessly on your behalf, aligning circumstances and opportunities in ways you might not consciously perceive. This daily communion with your vision and with the immutable laws of success charges your spirit, rejuvenates your will, and makes every subsequent action an act of joyous creation rather than mere labor. Finally, and perhaps most crucially, you must embrace the inevitability mindset. This is the ultimate expression of faith, the unwavering conviction that your persistent efforts, when aligned with these timeless truths, must prosper. It is a profound shift from hoping for success to expecting it. When you have consciously defined your streams of water, installed your influence filter, and engaged in delightful meditation, you have set in motion forces that are as reliable as the turning of the seasons. You have sown the seeds, cultivated the soil, and protected the crop. The harvest, therefore, is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of certainty. This mindset does not breed complacency. It fuels an even deeper, more resolute persistence. It allows you to move forward with absolute confidence, knowing that every setback is merely a temporary deviation, every challenge an opportunity for refinement, and every effort a step closer to an assured outcome. You understand that the universe is not working against you. It is working with you, orchestrating circumstances to match your deliberate intention. This is the ultimate power, the deep, abiding peace that comes from knowing you are in perfect alignment with the laws that govern all achievement. Act, therefore, not with doubt, but with the quiet, firm assurance that your success is not just possible, but inevitable. This mindset transforms the arduous climb into a steady, powerful ascent towards your destined peak. We have now traversed a landscape where ancient wisdom meets modern methodology, where the spiritual resonance of a timeless text finds its practical application in the meticulous blueprint for success I dedicated my life to uncovering. We have seen how cultivating your mental orchard, protecting it with an unyielding influence filter, fueling your journey with the potent law of delight, and confidently anticipating the inevitable harvest, all converge into an unparalleled strategy for achievement. This journey was not an academic exercise. It was a profound revelation of a unified, unbreakable system, a secret alliance forged across millennia, waiting for you to wield its power. Consider for a moment the sheer audacity of this discovery. For decades, perhaps even centuries, these two colossal pillars of human understanding, one meticulously charting the psychological and practical pathways to material success, the other succinctly outlining the foundational conditions for a flourishing, blessed existence, stood seemingly independent. Yet, as we have explored, their true power, their ultimate synergy, lies in their harmonious integration. Napoleon Hill did not invent success. He codified it. He painstakingly interviewed, observed, and distilled the essence of achievement from the lives of the most successful individuals of his time. He presented a systematic, step-by-step methodology for turning thought into tangible reality. He offered a how-to guide for manifesting definite purpose, for building an empire from an idea. His work was, and remains, a testament to the power of the human mind, rigorously applied. And Psalm 01? It did not merely preach blessing, it prescribed it. It laid out, in poetic yet precise terms, the immutable laws of cause and effect in the realm of human character and destiny. It described the internal and external conditions necessary for a life of natural, sustained prosperity, a life rooted so deeply in constructive principles that it simply must bear fruit. It provided the what of a truly successful life, delineating the very essence of flourishing long before the concepts of definite purpose or mastermind principles were articulated in modern terms. It offered the timeless framework, the universal context, within which all genuine and lasting achievement must unfold. What this profound synthesis offers you, then, is more than just wisdom. It is your definitive advantage. It is the recognition that the principles of material achievement are not divorced from, but deeply intertwined with, the very fabric of universal law. It means that when you apply my systematic methodologies, the burning desire, auto-suggestion, persistence, the mastermind alliance, within the framework of Psalm 01's wisdom, cultivating your mind, choosing your influences, finding delight in righteous principles, you are not just working hard. You are aligning yourself with an unstoppable force. You are tapping into a current of creation that guarantees your progress, makes your obstacles shrink, and accelerates your journey towards your most cherished goals. This understanding transforms your perspective. It removes the element of chance from success, replacing it with the certainty of scientific law. It changes doubt into unwavering faith. It turns effort into joyful, purposeful momentum. You are no longer merely hoping for prosperity. You are actively constructing it, day by day, thought by thought, action by action, in perfect harmony with a blueprint that has proven itself infallible across the ages. This is the enduring legacy, the timeless blueprint, the master key to a life where everything you set your mind to, everything you pour your heart into, every endeavor you undertake, not only meets with success but thrives beyond your current imagination. So, now that you have unveiled this hidden synergy, the true power lies in your application. The theoretical path has been illuminated, but the actual journey is yours to walk. This profound understanding demands more than just intellectual acknowledgement. It calls for committed, unwavering action. If you found this strategic synthesis empowering, if the idea of an unbreakable system for success resonates deep within your spirit, then imagine the further breakthroughs still waiting to be discovered within these timeless principles. This is not the end of your learning, but the powerful beginning of your doing. This unified wisdom is not a secret to be hoarded, but a truth to be lived. And by living it, you not only transform your own life, but you also become a beacon for others, demonstrating the immense power that lies in integrating these two profound wellsprings of human possibility. We have spoken of planting the seeds of purpose, of guarding the mental gates, of finding delight in the very act of creation, and of awaiting the inevitable harvest. But let us be frank with ourselves. The path to any great achievement is rarely a straight, sunlit road. There will be storms. There will be droughts. There will be moments when the very ground beneath your feet seems to shift, when the winds of adversity threaten to uproot everything you have painstakingly built. True success, therefore, is not merely about achieving a goal. It is about sustaining that achievement, about thriving not just in fair weather, but enduring, adapting, and even flourishing through the most challenging seasons. This brings us to a crucial, often underestimated dimension of this combined philosophy: the unwavering root system, resilience and adversity. It is the hidden strength, the unseen power that allows you to stand firm when all around you seems to be crumbling, ensuring your harvest is not merely a fleeting moment, but an enduring legacy. My studies of the great achievers revealed a consistent pattern. They were not individuals who magically avoided difficulties. They were individuals who mastered difficulties. Their stories were replete with temporary defeats, with moments of despair, with obstacles that would have crushed lesser spirits. Yet, they persisted. This persistence was not a blind stubbornness, but a conscious, cultivated decision to continue, to learn, to adapt, and to grow stronger with every challenge. I taught that faith, not as a religious doctrine, but as an unwavering belief in your definite purpose and in your ability to achieve it, was the bedrock of this resilience. It was the internal conviction that, no matter how dire the present circumstances, your ultimate triumph was assured provided you did not give up. Every setback became a lesson, every failure an opportunity to refine your approach, to deepen your understanding. This was the raw, unyielding power of mental fortitude, forged in the fires of adversity. It is the understanding that obstacles are not roadblocks designed to stop you, but rather, they are cleverly disguised opportunities for growth, for innovation, for the discovery of latent strengths you never knew you possessed. It is in these moments of intense pressure that the true character is revealed, and the true power of an unyielding spirit comes to the fore. The act of going the extra mile, not just in service to others, but in refusing to quit on yourself, when every fiber of your being screams for surrender, is the ultimate testament to this inner resolve. Now, consider again the imagery so powerfully invoked in Psalm 1. He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that brings forth its fruit in its season. His leaf also shall not wither. This phrase, his leaf also shall not wither, is a profound declaration of resilience. It is not simply a poetic embellishment. It is a description of an unparalleled internal strength. Think of the natural world. Seasons change, droughts come, fierce winds howl. Most plants, even mighty ones, show signs of stress. Their leaves yellow, they droop, they wither under prolonged duress. But this tree, this metaphor for the blessed individual, defies these natural laws of decline. Its leaf shall not wither. This speaks of a deep, unseen strength, an internal reservoir of vitality that allows the tree to remain vibrant, verdant, and productive even when external conditions are harsh, when resources seem scarce, when the very environment conspires against growth. The source of this stability, this unwitherable nature, is the deep, unwavering connection to the streams of water, which, in our context, are the universal, constructive principles that govern success. It is the constant drawing of nourishment from truth, from wisdom, from the foundational laws of cause and effect. This connection provides an inexhaustible internal resource, a hidden wellspring of strength that allows one to not only survive, but to thrive through every trial. The synthesis here is both potent and profoundly practical. My emphasis on persistence, on unwavering faith in the face of temporary defeat, on the conviction that every obstacle holds the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit, combines seamlessly with the psalmist's promise of the tree that shall not wither, the internal root system of mental fortitude, painstakingly built through the deliberate application of my principles, auto-suggestion to instill unshakable belief, persistence to navigate the inevitable challenges, and a burning desire to fuel the continuous effort, is precisely what allows an individual to not wither during the storms of life. This unwitherable state is not a passive gift. It is the direct result of conscious, internal work. It is the manifestation of deep roots, nurtured by an unwavering commitment to principle. When you face professional setbacks, personal disappointments, economic downturns, or moments of intense self-doubt, it is this deeply embedded internal strength that will prevent your spirit from withering, your resolve from faltering, and your ultimate purpose from being lost. True strength, then, does not come from avoiding adversity. It comes from building an internal resilience that external circumstances cannot shake. It is the quiet confidence that arises from knowing you have drawn deep from the streams of wisdom, that your thoughts are firmly rooted in definite purpose, and that your mental landscape is protected from corrosive influences. This hidden work, this internal cultivation of an unwavering root system, is what ensures that when the winds of change blow and the seasons of life turn harsh, you will not only endure, but you will continue to bring forth your fruit in your season. You will stand tall, vibrant, and unwithered, a testament to the power of a life aligned with timeless truths, always moving towards your destined harvest, unperturbed by the passing storms. This resilience is not just a desirable trait. It is an absolute necessity for anyone aspiring to lasting, significant achievement. Type 1 to write the next topic, or type the changes you want. We have discussed the essential foundation of resilience, the unwavering root system that allows you to stand firm against the inevitable storms of life. Now let us pivot from enduring hardship to embracing a state of continuous, almost effortless productivity, a condition I call the flow state of purpose, continuous productivity, and joyful work. This is not merely about being busy, it is about operating at peak efficiency, where your efforts feel synchronized with a deeper rhythm, where work transcends drudgery and becomes an expression of pure, unadulterated passion. It is the elusive state where focused action leads directly to fruitful outcomes, making the pursuit of your definite purpose feel less like a struggle and more like a dance. My research into successful individuals consistently highlighted not just their capacity for hard work, but their remarkable ability to sustain that effort, to remain intensely focused and productive over extended periods. This wasn't achieved through sheer brute force alone. It was often born from a deep immersion in their chosen field, a commitment so profound that the boundaries between work and self began to blur. Organized planning, one of my core principles, is not just about drawing up schedules and setting timelines. It is about creating a systematic approach that minimizes friction and maximizes efficiency, allowing you to move from one task to the next with deliberate intention. When your plans are clear, your objectives definite, and your actions aligned, a certain momentum builds. The mastermind principle, too, contributes to this flow, as the synergistic collaboration of minds eliminates obstacles and sparks innovative solutions, keeping the creative energy flowing freely. A definite purpose, above all, acts as a magnetic north, constantly orienting your efforts, ensuring that every action, no matter how small, contributes to a larger, meaningful whole. This eliminates the paralysis of indecision and the wastefulness of misdirected energy, allowing for a sustained, powerful output. It is the conscious structuring of your activities to eliminate resistance and to leverage your mental and physical energies towards a singular, compelling vision, creating an environment where peak performance becomes your default state. Now let us revisit Psalm 01 with this understanding of continuous, joyful productivity. It declares of the blessed individual, and whatever he does prospers. This statement is far more profound than it first appears. It implies not just occasional success, but a consistent, almost inherent fruitfulness in all endeavors. It suggests that the individual's actions are intrinsically aligned with the principles that guarantee positive outcomes. There is no wasted effort, no futile striving, because their internal compass is always pointing towards constructive, productive engagement. This prosperity in whatever he does speaks of a natural, seamless integration of effort and outcome, a state where work is not a separate, burdensome activity, but an organic extension of their being. Furthermore, the phrase, "and who meditates on his law day and night," offers a crucial insight into maintaining this state. Meditates here suggests not just occasional thought, but continuous engagement and enthusiastic absorption in the principles that govern success. This constant immersion, this unwavering focus on truth and purpose, fuels the individual's actions, making them inherently effective and perpetually inspired. It means that the wellspring of their productivity is not external, but internal, fed by a continuous connection to empowering knowledge and wisdom. This sustained mental engagement ensures that their external actions are always guided by clarity and propelled by a deep understanding of what truly matters, what truly works. The synthesis of these perspectives unveils the flow state of purpose as a conscious, attainable condition. When my principles of organized planning, definite purpose, and mastermind collaboration are employed, they systematically remove the barriers to smooth, effective action. They provide the structure, the direction, and the cooperative energy needed to sustain a high level of productivity. When this methodical approach is imbued with the psalmist's spirit of delight and meditation on the law day and night, you transition from merely working hard to working smartly and joyfully, in continuous alignment with universal success principles. This state of flow is where your definite purpose becomes not just a goal, but a living, breathing reality that guides every thought and action with an almost magnetic pull. You are so deeply immersed in your chosen work, so fully engaged with its underlying principles, that your efforts become effortless. The friction of resistance dissolves, the distractions fade into insignificance, and time itself seems to bend to your will. This isn't about wishing for things to be easy. It's about making your pursuit so deeply resonant with your inner being and with universal laws that effective action becomes your natural mode of operation. You are no longer just pushing, you are flowing. Your productivity is continuous, your work is joyful, and the prosperity that follows is not just an outcome, but an intrinsic characteristic of your very engagement with life. This is the hallmark of true mastery, where effort and reward become inextricably linked in a harmonious, unending cycle. We have discussed the essential foundation of resilience, the unwavering root system that allows you to stand firm against the inevitable storms of life. Now let us pivot from enduring hardship to embracing a state of continuous, almost effortless productivity, a condition I call the flow state of purpose. Continuous productivity and joyful work. This is not merely about being busy, it is about operating at peak efficiency, where your efforts feel synchronized with a deeper rhythm, where work transcends drudgery and becomes an expression of pure, unadulterated passion. It is the elusive state where focused action leads directly to fruitful outcomes, making the pursuit of your definite purpose feel less like a struggle and more like a dance. My research into successful individuals consistently highlighted not just their capacity for hard work, but their remarkable ability to sustain that effort, to remain intensely focused and productive over extended periods. This wasn't achieved through sheer brute force alone. It was often born from a deep immersion in their chosen field, a commitment so profound that the boundaries between work and self began to blur. Organized planning, one of my core principles, is not just about drawing up schedules and setting timelines. It is about creating a systematic approach that minimizes friction and maximizes efficiency, allowing you to move from one task to the next with deliberate intention. When your plans are clear, your objectives definite, and your actions aligned, a certain momentum builds. The mastermind principle, too, contributes to this flow, as the synergistic collaboration of minds eliminates obstacles and sparks innovative solutions, keeping the creative energy flowing freely. A definite purpose, above all, acts as a magnetic north, constantly orienting your efforts, ensuring that every action, no matter how small, contributes to a larger, meaningful whole. This eliminates the paralysis of indecision and the wastefulness of misdirected energy, allowing for a sustained, powerful output. It is the conscious structuring of your activities to eliminate resistance and to leverage your mental and physical energies towards a singular, compelling vision, creating an environment where peak performance becomes your default state. Now let us revisit Psalm 01 with this understanding of continuous, joyful productivity. It declares of the blessed individual, and whatever he does prospers. This statement is far more profound than it first appears. It implies not just occasional success, but a consistent, almost inherent fruitfulness in all endeavors. It suggests that the individual's actions are intrinsically aligned with the principles that guarantee positive outcomes. There is no wasted effort, no futile striving, because their internal compass is always pointing towards constructive, productive engagement. This prosperity in whatever he does speaks of a natural, seamless integration of effort and outcome, a state where work is not a separate, burdensome activity, but an organic extension of their being. Furthermore, the phrase, "and who meditates on his law day and night," offers a crucial insight into maintaining this state. Meditates here suggests not just occasional thought, but continuous engagement, an enthusiastic absorption in the principles that govern success. This constant immersion, this unwavering focus on truth and purpose, fuels the individual's actions, making them inherently effective and perpetually inspired. It means that the wellspring of their productivity is not external, but internal, fed by a continuous connection to empowering knowledge and wisdom. This sustained mental engagement ensures that their external actions are always guided by clarity and propelled by a deep understanding of what truly matters, what truly works. The synthesis of these perspectives unveils the flow state of purpose as a conscious, attainable condition. When my principles of organized planning, definite purpose, and mastermind collaboration are employed, they systematically remove the barriers to smooth, effective action. They provide the structure, the direction, and the cooperative energy needed to sustain a high level of productivity. When this methodical approach is imbued with the psalmist's spirit of delight and meditation on the law day and night, you transition from merely working hard to working smartly and joyfully, in continuous alignment with universal success principles. This state of flow is where your definite purpose becomes not just a goal, but a living, breathing reality that guides every thought and action with an almost magnetic pull. You are so deeply immersed in your chosen work, so fully engaged with its underlying principles, that your efforts become effortless. The friction of resistance dissolves, the distractions fade into insignificance, and time itself seems to bend to your will. This isn't about wishing for things to be easy. It's about making your pursuit so deeply resonant with your inner being and with universal laws that effective action becomes your natural mode of operation. You are no longer just pushing, you are flowing. Your productivity is continuous, your work is joyful, and the prosperity that follows is not just an outcome, but an intrinsic characteristic of your very engagement with life. This is the hallmark of true mastery, where effort and reward become inextricably linked in a harmonious, unending cycle. Having cultivated the deep roots of resilience and embraced the dynamic flow state of purpose, we now turn our attention to one of the most critical, yet often most challenging aspects of sustained achievement: the art of timing and the wisdom of patience. In a world that often glorifies immediate gratification and instant results, the true masters of success understand that every harvest has its season. Rushing the process, forcing an outcome before its natural unfolding, can be as detrimental as neglecting the necessary cultivation. This brings us to a profound, integrated principle: the unfolding of seasons, patience, persistence, and perfect timing. It is the understanding that while your effort is paramount, the universe operates on a divine schedule, and aligning your actions with this rhythm is key to manifesting your definite purpose in its fullest, most abundant form. My extensive research into the lives of the most accomplished individuals consistently revealed that success was rarely an overnight phenomenon. It was the culmination of relentless effort, intelligent planning, and an unwavering belief sustained over considerable periods. Persistence, one of my paramount principles, was never just about refusing to quit. It was about continuing to apply effort until the desired result manifested. This implies a deep trust in the process, an understanding that there are growth periods, incubation periods, and maturation periods, much like in nature. Many aspiring achievers make the mistake of planting a seed and then digging it up repeatedly to check if it's growing, thereby disrupting the very process they wish to accelerate. They lack the patience to allow the universal laws to work their magic. True persistence is accompanied by an intelligent patience, a quiet knowing that if all the right inputs have been made, the definite purpose clearly defined, the plans meticulously laid, the necessary specialized knowledge acquired, the mastermind group engaged, the faith maintained, then the outcome is not just probable, but inevitable in its own due time. It is the strategic waiting, coupled with continuous, refined action, that distinguishes lasting success from fleeting attempts. The time element in achievement is not merely a duration, it is an active component, a necessary ingredient in the full development of any great endeavor. The ability to endure the intermediate periods of unseen growth, to maintain enthusiasm when visible results are scarce, is a hallmark of those who truly master the manifestation process. It is a profound recognition that the universe orchestrates circumstances, often in ways beyond our immediate comprehension, to bring about the perfect convergence for your harvest. Now let us turn to the profound wisdom embedded within Psalm 01. He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that brings forth its fruit in its season. This phrase, so seemingly simple, carries immense weight in the context of achieving prosperity. It is a powerful affirmation of natural law. A tree does not bear all its fruit at once, nor does it yield its bounty outside its designated period. There is a precise natural timing for growth, for blossoming, for ripening, and for harvest. This ancient text implicitly teaches that patience is not a weakness, but a strength, a profound alignment with the cosmic rhythm. It acknowledges that even when rooted by abundant rivers of water, our defined streams of nourishment, and even when vibrant and unwithered, fruitfulness occurs in its season. This teaches us that there is a period of cultivation, a time of nurturing and development that must precede the visible outcome. It is a powerful antidote to anxiety and impatience, encouraging a trust in the natural unfolding of events when the foundational principles have been honored. It speaks to the wisdom of allowing things to mature, to develop fully, before expecting the ultimate manifestation. It implies that rushing or forcing the harvest can lead to unripe, unsatisfactory, or even damaged results. The season implies that there are optimal conditions, a convergence of internal readiness and external opportunity that must align for the fullest and most abundant expression of your efforts. The synthesis here is beautifully harmonious and incredibly liberating. My emphasis on persistence provides the unwavering internal drive and continuous action required, while Psalm 01's declaration of, "in its season," provides the essential wisdom of patience and timing. It means you are called to persist with all your might, applying every principle, refining every plan, nurturing every thought, and maintaining unwavering faith. But simultaneously, you are called to trust the natural unfolding of the process. You are planting the seeds, watering them diligently, protecting them fiercely, and then allowing them the necessary time to grow and ripen. This does not mean passive waiting. It means active, intelligent patience. It is the understanding that your continuous, focused efforts are building momentum, creating the energetic and practical conditions for your definite purpose to manifest. The season will arrive when all the contributing factors, your readiness, the external market conditions, the alignment of resources, the maturation of your specialized knowledge, converge. This powerful combination frees you from the burden of immediate results and allows you to find joy and satisfaction in the process itself, knowing that the ultimate harvest is not just a possibility, but an assured event. You become like the wise farmer, who works diligently from dawn to dusk, but sleeps soundly at night, trusting that nature will do its part. This profound trust, this intelligent patience, fuels an even deeper, more resilient form of persistence, allowing you to ride the waves of time, knowing that your season of abundant fruitfulness is not just coming, but is being perfectly orchestrated for its optimal arrival. This is the serenity and confidence that comes from living in alignment with the universal laws of creation. We have meticulously explored the interwoven threads of our unified philosophy, tracing the journey from the cultivation of your inner world to the intelligent patience required for your inevitable harvest. Now, we must confront a stark, yet equally vital aspect of this wisdom, the profound distinction between two paths and the unyielding certainty of their respective outcomes. This brings us to the path of distinction, consequences, and the unbreakable law of accountability. For every deliberate choice, every cultivated thought, every action or inaction, there exists a precise, predictable consequence. This is not a matter of arbitrary reward or punishment, but a fundamental principle of the universe, an unbreakable law that governs all manifestation. My life's work was dedicated not just to unveiling the principles of success, but also to identifying the precise causes of failure. I observed that the lives of those who did not achieve their potential were consistently marked by certain detrimental habits and mental attitudes. Lack of definite purpose was paramount among these. Without a clear burning aim, individuals drifted aimlessly, tossed about by circumstances, reacting to external stimuli rather than proactively shaping their reality. This aimlessness breeds indecision and procrastination, the twin killers of opportunity. When one fails to make timely decisions or postpones necessary action, the momentum required for achievement dissipates, and potential transforms into regret. Furthermore, a negative mental attitude acts as a powerful magnet, attracting failure and adversity. It is the antithesis of the positive mental attitude essential for success, creating an energetic frequency that repels opportunity and fosters self-sabotage. Finally, the absence of self-discipline means the inability to follow through on plans, to overcome temporary discomfort for long-term gain, and to resist the temptations of immediate gratification. These are not mere character flaws. They are violations of the very laws that govern success, leading to predictable and often painful consequences. Just as sure as planting a healthy seed in fertile ground will yield a crop, planting seeds of indecision, procrastination, and negativity will yield a bitter harvest of mediocrity and failure. My teachings made it clear that while success is predictable, so too is failure, when the principles are ignored or violated. Now turn once more to Psalm 01, which contrasts the blessed man with the wicked. It states, with unambiguous clarity, "Not so the wicked. They are like chaff that the wind blows away." This imagery is exceptionally powerful and profoundly illustrative. Chaff is the dry, worthless, outer layer of grain, light and without substance. It has no root, no inherent value, no capacity to sustain itself or contribute to anything meaningful. Its fate is to be scattered, dispersed, and ultimately forgotten. This is not a moral judgment in a narrow, condemnatory sense. Rather, it is a scientific observation of inevitable consequence. Those who choose not to cultivate their minds, who allow destructive influences to permeate their thoughts, who find no delight in constructive principles, and who fail to root themselves in definite purpose and disciplined action, will naturally lack substance. They will be easily swayed by every passing trend, every popular opinion, every external pressure. They will possess no internal stability, no core strength, and therefore no lasting impact. Their efforts, if any, will be scattered and ultimately fruitless. The psalm continues this stark distinction. Therefore the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the assembly of the righteous. Again, interpret judgment not merely as a supernatural decree, but as the inevitable judgment of life itself, the judgment of results, the judgment of outcomes. Those who operate out of alignment with the universal principles of flourishing cannot stand in the face of true achievement. Their foundations are too weak, their efforts too scattered. They cannot truly thrive or find their place in the assembly of the righteous, meaning among those whose lives are characterized by integrity, purpose, and lasting contribution, because their very essence, their energetic vibration, is out of sync with such an assembly. The wicked in this context are simply those whose choices lead them away from the path of prosperity, stability, and enduring fruitfulness. The profound synthesis here is that both my practical philosophy and the ancient wisdom deliver the same uncompromising message. Accountability is absolute. There is no escape from the consequences of your choices. If you choose to ignore the cultivation of a positive mental attitude, you will attract negativity. If you choose indecision over definite purpose, you will drift. If you choose to allow corrosive influences into your mind, your spirit will wither. The chaff represents the inevitable outcome of a life lived without deliberate purpose, without sustained effort, without a commitment to universal constructive principles. It is the natural endpoint for those who fail to plant deep roots and build enduring substance. This understanding is not meant to instill fear, but to empower you with choice. It highlights the immense power you possess to consciously choose your path. You are not destined to be chaff. You have the intellect, the will, and now the integrated blueprint to choose the path of the rooted, flourishing tree. By understanding the predictable causes of failure, you gain the foresight to avoid them. By embracing the principles of definite purpose, self-discipline, persistence, and positive mental attitude, you are consciously creating an energetic field that draws success to you. This dual perspective, identifying the precise actions that lead to failure as well as those that guarantee success, is your ultimate tool for navigating life's journey with clarity and conviction. It is the ultimate testament to the unbreakable law that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. And in the realm of human endeavor, you are the ultimate architect of your own consequences. The path of distinction is clear. The choice and the accountability are entirely yours.